record on this computer? Okay, so awesome. Sorry for the wait. Technical difficulties just going through. So we are going to really workshop this and we're going to write out our goals. We're going to break it down. We're going to have fun while doing it and then create that motivation to stick through it. And my name is Tia Lynn. If you haven't already met me, which I believe most of you have, I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I have a clothing line, I do Airbnb, and I'm a marketing, confidence, and sex coach. And I love helping women build a business they love around them, around their purpose, their pleasure, their power, which means what they're best at, what makes them them and makes them stand out to increase profit. And I've done this by focusing on my purpose and what lights me up. So one of the key ingredients to sticking to your goals and achieving them is to really come back to your why. And about 3.5, 4 years ago, I was at a place where I was working all the time. I was stressed. I was working in scarcity. I was just kind of killing myself to make it in my business. And it sucked. It really sucked. I was depressed. I was sad. I wasn't making money and I was working all the time. That's all I was doing was working. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, like something has to change. I'm not making enough money. So I either have to get a job and give up or I have to figure this out and I might as well have fun and enjoy it. So I was like, okay, screw all the rules. Let's do what lights me up, what I enjoy doing. And I focused on that. And I got like a part-time job for a little time. And then I made a $5,000 client, like right after I switched it up and started following what I enjoyed and started realigning with my goals. So it's really important to not get in scarcity and focus on your why and what you enjoy most. Okay. So before we do our visualization exercise, you wrote down 10. Who has wrote down 10 goals? And can anyone tell me how to spotlight myself? I've never had this issue and I'm just staring at a blank screen. It's really driving me nuts. Like, I'm just like at this blank screen and it's like not fun. Spotlight for everyone. There we go. Okay. I figured it out. Okay, you have, okay. So I want you to circle the top 3. This is going to be your focus for the year. So you can think this through. And then once you have it, I want you to put it on in the chat. Okay. So if you don't already know, one of mine was grow my podcast. I want to double my income to, I'm going big. Doubling is about 250,000 a year. And then my third goal is, dang it, I had, ooh, yes, publish a goal, get paid to speak, travel to Australia. Ooh, love, love, love. Those are great. Okay, great. Okay, drop the others. I think I wrote mine down. Okay, eat healthier, have consistent clients, have my therapy group, practice run itself. Awesome. Yes. Okay, so get healthier, consistent clients. Okay, so let's get them a little bit more specific, like quantifiable. So if you say eat healthier, what's the goal of eating healthier? Being like, what's a goal? Is it be happier, healthier? Like, what could you say to get a little bit more specific on that? Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. That's a good decrease eating out. Okay. How much can you decrease eating out? I'm just gonna like workshop this with you. Cook at least 5 days a week. There you go. There's some specifics. And like the overall goal is maybe to have a healthier body, mind, soul connection, maybe. So like just all around be healthier. I think that's fine. But if you have a specific, like feel great, have more energy, feel comfortable going to the beach, whatever it is, have more energy for myself and my 3-year-old. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a visualization exercise in just a second. Awesome. Incorporating your authentic self in everything you do, putting your writing out there, purchasing a car that has enough room for my dogs. Those are some big ones. So I want you to think like full year, big picture. So at the end of the year, what do you want to achieve? Because I feel like a lot of these you can start achieving within the next couple months. So I want you to get a big picture goal where you're on January 1st, 2024, and that you've achieved. What does that look like? Okay, 10K a month by having consistent clients. Okay, you got your book published, you traveled to Australia, and you've gotten paid to speak several times. Fabulous. See how that was like a lot more specific and energized. Do you see how when you put it in present tense, it makes it more energized? So that it could be, I made 10K a month this year by having consistent clients. But to get more specific, what if you made, so that would be about 100K. Okay, you want to break it down into 100K for the year. Are you open to getting income in other streams as well? So you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like maybe you could attract money this way. You also could do affiliate marketing, or, do you have any other streams of income that you're like open for it to coming from? So you don't like cut it off in one way. Could be your course. Open to receiving in all ways. Okay, so it should be, if you want to hit 100K in the year, that would be a big picture goal. Then it would be 8 to 10 a month. So 8 to 10,000 every month you want to hit $8,000, $8,000, $8,000 to hit that 100,000. So then what we're going to do is visualize where we are in the future. And we're going to go a little bit bigger picture, okay? So we're going to think of like maybe 3, 5 years. You could think 10 if you want. I want you to go big though, okay? I want you to really get excited about your visualization in this exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the meditation music. And this is what I do every night. Okay. So every night I do a meditation and I call in what I want. And some of my biggest manifestations, I go to bed and I'm visualizing what I want. And then I got it. One of them that, sticks out a lot for me is when I manifested my last house. I would go to bed every night and visualize this open ceilings. You could see the beach. You could see that it was like an open floor plan where it was a big kitchen and a big living room and really light walls, white colored, very open with sun. And I was like, oh, there's so much room. It's so pretty. It's updated. It has a automatic key entry. It has a big bathtub. It has a walk-in closet. I went big. Okay. So that wasn't like, oh, I think it's actually going to happen. No joke. I did not think that was going to happen for this round of manifestation to get a house. I just kept picturing it for some time in the future, in the next few years. Okay. So every night I would go to bed and just get really excited and picture it. Guess what? So I did that every night for this, few in the future. And then when we were looking for places, we went to this place on, I think it was like Zapier or Zillow or something. And we walked in. It's a keyless entry. And then we walk in, it has an open floor plan. It's all light cabinets. We go upstairs. The master bedroom is a walk-in closet the size of like a bedroom. And then it has not only a shower, but a huge bathtub. And I was just like, this is it. This is what I've been visualizing every single night. So I was like, oh my goodness, like I am going to I have to make this happen. And you guys, I took out a loan to put a down payment on that house. And it was so scary. I almost lost it. And I was sitting there and I was like, I can't, like that made me so happy. I could feel it. It was mine. And I was like, no, I can't lose it. I need to get this down payment. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I was like, okay, I asked questions. I Googled. I was like, okay, I will be open to a loan because I didn't have the money, but I was like, no. And so I went and got a loan at Wells Fargo. I got in the next day. We put a down payment on the house. We lived there for 5 years. And that house made me so happy. Okay, you're looking to get something small that I live in for 50 years. I am not going to resell it at all. I'll be 87 in 50 years. Awesome. Great. Yeah. Get a house, own it for that long. That would be great. So every night, go to bed and visualize that house. And when we do this exercise, I want you to visualize the specifics of the house and feel the energy of what it's like to live there and like be there and what you would be doing. Okay. So dream big. Go to wherever your head takes you and then just keep building on it and like let it be maybe a little bit impossible or far-fetched, okay? All right. Now I'm going to pull this up. Deep meditation. I picked this out right before we started, and I think it was this one. Okay, so I want you guys to close your eyes. Okay, everybody close their eyes. Sit up straight. I'm going to grab a drink real quick because I'm going to be talking. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear the music before I start? Anybody? DM? Okay. And the music sounds okay because it's nice. Okay, first we're going to do 4 deep breaths. This is where you inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 5. Okay, so inhale, hold, and out. Okay, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5. And exhale. Inhale one last time. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. So I want you to visualize wherever you feel safe, excited for this first little part. It could be on the beach, it could be in your home, it could be in bed with your partner, it could be a fake partner, your future partner, whatever it is. I just want you to feel safe and comfortable. And I want you to know that you are worthy of your desires. You are worthy of your dream life. You are worthy of massive success. I want you to visualize and know that you are a heart-centered person. You're giving back to the world And money is just a way to give back and to be whole and to lead by example. Think of all the great ways and amazing things that you can do if you have a lot of money. You are worthy of $10,000 a month. You are worthy of making $20,000 a month. You are worthy of making a six-figure year this year. Doesn't matter what anybody says, that you are worthy. We are all worthy. You are worthy of having the best life. You are worthy of having an amazing life that you love. You are beautiful in content, and your soul is shining out with your words and your body and your mind and your service. So feel that light coming up through into your chest. It's kind of like a ball of light. Let it beam out of you. And now I want you to visualize going into a movie theater, taking a seat in whatever seat you desire, looking up at the screen, watching a movie. And I want you to visualize a future that you deeply desire. It could be in your dream home. It could be on a stage. It could be with your family around the kitchen table. It could be getting married or having a baby. Visualize that dream experience that you really want to achieve and that makes you excited, whatever pops up. Look around. What do you see? Who's around you? How do you feel? How do you feel with the people around you? Now, visualize, what are you doing day to day? What are you wearing? Do you have a nice bag? Do you have this amazing elaborate outfit? Visualize the specifics of your outfit. How do you walk? Do you strut? Do you have your shoulders back? Do you have this extra outfit that you've always wanted to wear? Do you have a designer bag? Or do you have your sweats and you freaking feel comfortable and that's what makes you happy? Now, keep going into that and go into a different room. It could be just a different scene. You're on stage, you're with friends, another goal. Go deep into it. How does this make you feel? What are you doing daily? Now know that you have the power to get here. You have the power to take action and achieve your massive, huge goals that you think are impossible. And it can come faster with these visualization exercises and with believing in yourself and not giving up. Now take whoever you see, somebody comes into the room and you just received a ding on your phone and some money is coming in. You got a sale, you got a course sale, you got an email saying that you're gonna take this huge opportunity to speak on stage or share your book. How does that feel? You have 10K coming in, you got ding, ding, ding on your phone. You're so excited. Who do you tell? How do you tell them? How are you excited? Keep going into that. Keep feeling those feelings. Call it into it. What are you doing? All right. Know that is possible and you're calling it in. And now we are going to come back. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Oh. Okay. So I want to hear if you guys are open to it. If anyone wants to share, what did you see? And you guys can come off muted if you want to. You could share it in the chat, or you could share it. You could voice. Anybody want to share? Let's see. Lauren says, your outfits are plain. I will probably be wearing a long sleeve shirt with a skirt and black tights. Nice. Yes, I like that. I always visualize, I'll kind of get started because I'd love to hear you guys. But whenever I do this at night, and I have a meditation I can share with you that goes deeper and it's a little bit longer. But I always see myself in this really beautiful mansion on the beach. I can see the beach. It's really tall ceilings. There's this big, huge, like, wall of windows. And then I'm wearing like this white epic outfit that's like, I'm a boss babe. And then I have my husband come in and I visualize what he looks like. And then I have 2 kids, or I'm either pregnant or I have 2 kids. And they're just like, mommy. And then I go up into the next scene and I have this really epic office. And then I start getting tings and like offers and speaking gigs. And I'm just feeling all the feelings of where I'm at. And then I go into the next scene, which is on stage, and it's a workshop, and I'm teaching dance and speaking, and it's more of like a retreat. And so these are the scenes that I turn to every night and I get excited about. And it calls them in quicker when you visualize them, and it gets you excited. So what did you guys feel when you were looking into the future, and what did you see? Share below. I want to hear what you guys saw. Dream
I
big.
didn't see that much. I mean, I'm already halfway there anyway. I'm already putting sample edits out there, getting quoted prices, things like that. I mean, as far as the publishing the book goes, my book is already written, so that's already done. As far as the, putting myself out there as a speaker, I just need to fine tune my craft more, write something a bit longer, and I guess get some CRM going, like what pay for Squarespace, develop a website, get my demo, my demo video up there so people can see it, contact organizations, and let's get this rolling. That's the next step for me on that front.
So, Lauren, so this exercise is not meant to write a list of things that you're supposed to do. It's meant to call in what you desire at the end of it. So, you said you wanted a house. So, I would think you picturing yourself inside of that house and what it looks like and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, or talking about your book, or getting book sales onto your phone where it's like, ding, you sold your book, ding, another Amazon sale, ding. So do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, you're already there, and you're kind of getting in the masculine energy of like, do. Visualization is just like calling in that energy where you're already have achieved everything. And it's just like a shortcut to help you get energized and excited. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, I guess that's cool, but it's just when you've already done half the work already, it's kind of hard to visualize it when you've already done half the stuff, I guess.
Okay.
If I was afraid to do the stuff, something like that, then I could see how that would work. But I guess if I already did half the work already, it's kind of hard.
Okay. Well, guess it doesn't work for everybody. Anybody else want to share? Let's see. Isis, you are in your home with so much land. Yes, we are growing our own food. I love that. You are with your future partner and 2 dogs and have your own office where you write. And he comes in to tell you that I have been invited to read my book out loud. Love that. How did that make you feel? And let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. Yeah. And Sarah and Yvette, what did you guys see? If you want to come off mute, I'd love to hear. And what did you feel? So excited and supported. Yes, I love that. Okay. So Yvette or Sarah, last chance. You're traveling with your son. Ooh, okay. Where are you? Where are you? You've booked speaking engagements. Yes. Doing retreats 2 times a year. Yes. I love that. So visualizing the people and where you're at and the country and ooh, yes, see, that's giving me all the feelings. Yes, I love it. Okay. So I know that Lauren, maybe you're not really into the visualization and we're like, that's fine. But for me, visualization, especially at night, right before I go to bed, I found over the years of me doing that when I get specific and I visualize it like it's already there, I get it faster and it happens and it collapses time. And like I visualize like 5 years in the future or maybe 10, living in a mansion on the beach. Like that's kind of like a big dream. And then having a husband and kids, like 2 kids, that's going to be at least 5 years. So I picture 5-10 years in the future and I get really excited about it and I get motivated and then I start taking action in the morning. And it usually does come faster than I ever thought possible. So that's how I manifested my house, my dream house, living in California, working for myself full time. I wrote that down. I actually have one of these planners from about 5 years ago, 2016, before I moved. And it said I had 2 businesses and I live by the beach and they're both successful and I have a team. Guess what? 5 years later, I live 2 miles from the beach. I have multiple businesses. I've made 6 figures and I have a team. So I'm so happy. And it took hard work to getting here, but I didn't lose sight of it. So next, we wrote down those 10 goals. I want you to pick those 3 most important goals. And I want you to get clear on your why. Okay. So the why is what keeps you going in times of struggle. So in times of struggle, you come back to this why. There's definitely been points where, I was like, 6 figures is so far away. I can't do this. Like I failed. Things didn't work out. Last year I came close. No, not last year, 2021. I came close. But I kept staying focused and came back to my why and kept showing up whether or not I got it in the exact way that I wanted it. In fact, it didn't come the exact way that I wanted it. I was thinking it would be coming through like more coaching, where in reality, my clothing line brought in the most, and then my clothing or coaching came in second. And then other streams of income helped me get there to surpass my goal. So I want you to be also open to these bigger things, and I want you to dream bigger. So one of my goals, last year was $100,000. And I this year am challenging myself to 10 times my goals. Okay. So that would be $100,000 or sorry, $1 million. That's insane. Okay. $1 million. So I dream bigger and I'm like, what would I be doing to get there? What would I be doing to take action on these goals? And sometimes it's like, okay, if you dream $10,000, you're like, okay, well, how would I get there? Work backwards. Is that 10 clients for $1,000? Is that 5 clients at $2,000 a month in the future? Is that maybe 5 clients at $1,000 a month, and then you have 5 courses that are paying $1,000 a month? So I want you to work backwards on your goals and think, how do I get there? And then try to push your limit. Like, okay, you're at 10. What if it was 20? How would you get to 20? Push that mindset. And I want you to play around with this energy. So does anybody have any questions before we get on to our why?
This is Sarah. I have a question.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, like you said, you do a lot of visualization, like even 10 years into the future. So in this list that we're making, that's not just for this year, 2023, that's like a 5-year or 10-year plan.
So we're going to do 3 major goals, and I want you to have a shorter term one and a longer term one. Thank you for clarifying that. It is on my notes, but I didn't say that. So have a short term one and then a long term one. Okay. So let's say, so my podcast goal was like, it was 100,000. That's 4 timesing my downloads. And I was like, that's possible, you know, like it is. I grew about double in a year, and it tends to go like this with business and with growth. You can usually like exponentially grow. And then I was like, how could I 10 times that growth? That would be 1 million. Okay. So logically, my brain is like, okay, that's not possible for this year, but I want you to, on the other side, put that as a long-term goal. If you 10 times your goal, and then I want you to think what would you have to do to get to that 10 times goal, and just put that as your long-term. Okay. So one of my short-term is 100,000 podcast downloads. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an exact time frame. I think for some people, I've heard that helps them, but for me personally, it makes me feel like chokehold, because like I didn't achieve my goal last year for the 100K, but I was like, I know I'm getting there and I'm on my way. So whether or not I get there, I will know. But then 2022, I knew I was going to get there because I was so close the year before. So, okay, 100,000 podcasts. So 10 times would be 1 million. Share your guys is below. Let's 10 times it. And then I'm also going to help you with a plan of attack and help you kind of get out of your brain and get out into how you could achieve these things. Okay. So like for an example, I think the podcast one is a good example. 100,000, I'm thinking like, oh, I 4 times my growth. I'm going to get on some podcasts. I'm going to get on like 10 podcast episodes that are podcasts that are bigger. Okay. And I'm like, okay, like 10 people. And then I continue to grow. Maybe I do some advertising and I do at my same rate. When I think of 1 million, I'm like, shit, I need to get on TV. I need to do some big workshops where people, like thousands are seeing me. So I start to think bigger, and then I'm going to bring those things into my shorter term. So another one of my goals. Okay. So my goal that it's far-fetched, like doubling your income is intense. I have 50% growth from last year, 2021 to 2022. And that's really huge. Like, think if you're at a job, to keep up with inflation, because we're pretty high right now, it's like 9%. So 50% increase is a lot. 20% increase is a lot. But I'm pushing you and stretching you to think bigger, because if you think big and then you plan an action of attack for this bigger thing, if you come halfway there, 20% there, you're still already surpassing your smaller goals. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want to hear one. Let's break down somebody's. So go ahead and take your time if you're not ready. So mine is the podcast. My first one was getting on 10 bigger PR opportunities, and then I 10 times it. That's 100. And then my third one was 250K for the short term. And the thing is, I'm not too, like, if I made, 160, 170, 200, that's fine. But I'm putting it out there. I'm planning the attack. I'm putting the action out there and thinking big. And then I'm going to be happy with whatever I achieve, if that makes sense. Okay. So honestly, 10 timesing that goal is really hard for my brain to think of at this point in time. 2,500,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Okay. But I'm getting my mind to think that big. What would I have to do to reach that big? Maybe it's advertising. Maybe it's a team. Maybe it's getting on some big platforms. Maybe it's selling my courses at $1,000, $2,000 and having a big launch at the end of the year or something like that. So that would be, in 2 months, if I sold a $1,000 or $2,000 product and I sold 100 of them, that's $100,000. So it's just making your brain think bigger instead of thinking so small, where a lot of us, we're surrounded by people that are naysayers. We're surrounded by people who don't believe in the big things and these big dreams. And they start putting their energy on us. And we don't think that it's big. We don't think that we can achieve these big things because they kind of shit on our dreams. So when you start really dreaming bigger and planning an action plan, you're going to achieve those goals faster. So I want to hear any questions, or what are some of your short and long-term goals? I want to hear it.
This is Sarah. I can go.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
All right. So big picture goal. I'd like to become like a partner, part owner in the company that I work for.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to require getting some education, which they'll pay for 100%. And, taking on some other responsibilities and things, networking, finding somebody to sponsor me, opening a new office, but I would like to do that near my hometown, move back to Pennsylvania, long term. And then short term, like by the end of the year, I have 3 credit cards. Right now they have no interest, but I'd like to get them paid off before the interest is accruing. And I have some other debts that I'd like to get paid off. So I was just kind of visualizing like, being debt free, the feeling in your mind of not having that obligation to anybody,
Yeah.
and not, being able to, once you pay off those things, like that money that you were making on those monthly payments, like can go to whatever else. I'd like to start saving to buy my own house, condo, something like that. And then I guess like on like romantic or whatever, like visualizing like the ideal partner. And so, when you're talking about the visualization, like you're talking about like, oh, you're in a place where you feel safe, like, oh, I'd like to live at the beach maybe, with the partner, with, feeling safe, and what it would feel like to be in a healthy relationship with my ideal partner.
Yeah, Sarah, I love that. I felt chills through my body. What did you think of thinking to those bigger plans? Like what kind of ideas popped in your head on those bigger goals? Did you get any like pings or ideas?
So in like becoming becoming a partner in the company, I would be the first one to do it for my position. So there's like certainly like a lot of things that would have to fall into place with that, but I've already started planting those seeds. I mean, I've only been there for 2 months, but
Yeah.
but like my boss is 25 or something and he's a partner.
Yeah.
So like it's not unrealistic. We're meeting with, you know, in a couple weeks, we're meeting with the guy who sponsored my boss to open a new office. So I'm excited about that. And that's kind of what it is. I think just like, taking advantage of all the opportunities that the company gives us, and enthusiastic. And I know a lot of people in here like want to start their own business and work for themselves, but this company is just like amazing to their employees.
Is it a
So
startup? Is it
I just
smaller?
really our office, it's construction. Our office is like feels like a startup, but we have the support of like the huge overarching company
Mhm.
as far as like money and leadership and all kinds of like supportive things. But yeah, like that's what they said in my interview, like in a sense, our office, because it's so new, feels like a startup, but unlike a startup, like we have financial stability, and it's not like they're just throwing money at the employees because we're happy we're signing contracts and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I'm really excited to be there.
Yay. So some ideas, because I don't know your whole situation. So these might be so far-fetched and so not like accurate to what you're doing. But just throwing out crazy ideas to the partners and sharing like, oh, Like it could even be a little bit like, oh, well, keep me in mind if you ever open up an office in blah, blah, blah. I would love to open one. Like just plant those seeds of ideas and go above and beyond in your work. Prove that you're one of those leaders in your job. Like sometimes you create your own positions by doing things and taking action or finding needs in a company and just like throw it out there. So I know this is a smaller thing, but I've always kind of wanted to teach a twerk class. And I randomly was on the phone with an owner because I wanted to do a poll class and see, I wanted to rent out a studio. And I was like, hey, I don't know him. I don't even know if they have any dancing classes. I was like, hey, just throwing it out there. If you ever need somebody to teach twerk classes, keep me in mind. Like almost kind of like jokingly, because I don't even know this person. I am now teaching twerk classes. So like, I want you to plant these seeds of ideas and like people trust people that are in their framework and who they communicate with. So like, show that you're a leader, show that you could serve. And I got a lot of chills when you were talking about it. So just plant those ideas.
Yeah, thank you. That's good feedback. And like, we're meeting with this guy that helps with opening the offices next week. And my plan is to sit next to him or across from the table at our dinner and make sure that I make myself known. Because I know it'll be about eating and drinking and socializing and whatnot, but I want to be strategic about it. Like you said,
Yeah.
oh yeah, if you ever think about it, my hometown's the warehouse capital of the world. We build a lot of warehouses. Like I'd love to help open an office up there or whatever.
That's great. That with confidence and saying that, just in planting those ideas, because when they will think of that, then they'll be like, oh, this one girl, oh, Sarah did. Okay. Like these things are super powerful. It really is. Me telling one of my friends, hey, I want to like help you hold retreats. And I want to be one of those people. Like now she said, I might be the first one on her payroll of paying people, where I've already hosted some like workshops at her retreat. So just throw things out there. They plant seeds that grow. So really good job on dreaming big. Yvette, do you want to share one? What maybe your bigger goal, and did you get any ideas or do you want any feedback?
I guess my biggest goal is doing the retreats. I really want to do retreats. One, because you get best of both worlds. You can travel and meet people and still do healthy things with it in the retreat, like self-care retreats or something like that.
Yep.
So my short-term goal is starting retreats this year. And long-term goal is, I haven't really thought long-term yet.
Maybe they're all over the world. Maybe they're.
Yeah, I guess I can have them start off domestic and then go international.
Yeah.
Retreats.
So some little moves you can make, and I'm going to share a little story, is I've wanted to do retreats. Honestly, I don't really want to put them on because that's a lot of work, but I've always wanted to be one of the speakers. And so I started telling people more. I want to do more workshops. I want to do more workshops. Yeah, I'm down if you ever want to do a workshop. Like I tell people that. I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll do like a confidence sexuality for women's only retreat. Like I tell people that, and they will keep me in mind. And last year I started getting invited to do this it's like goddess event that's in California, and I did my first workshop, and then she invited me to teach at her retreat. So, and it was really small, but it was a good taste. Like it was a good like sample, and she wants to grow and grow. So don't ever think anything's too small to get started. It could be as small as like hosting a workshop at your place or like a local coffee shop or something like that to start small, or to team up with somebody who's already doing it. So start getting out there and looking at like what's going on in your community, what type of events, if maybe just throw it out there and be like, hey, I would be interested in speaking. Just throw it out there over and over because you
Okay.
never know if you get a yes.
Gotcha.
And then how did you feel with this exercise? Did you get any like ideas flowing?
Yeah. It's something to look forward to now that it's on paper in my mind.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So what I do is you think of those 3 goals. They could be short-term or long-term. So let's start with the short-term ones, whatever the smaller one is. And I want you to break it down into, let's just start with like 5 things to reach those goals. Okay. Maybe for time's sake, we could pick one and then write down the 5 things that you could do. And then, yeah, let's just start with that. Okay. So go ahead and pick 1 or 2 if you'd like to do 2 and you're fast, that's fine. And I want you to start brainstorming 5 things to reach that goal. And if you want to pick the long-term one, like the bigger 10 times goal, that's fine too. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and do that. Let's take 2 minutes. 2 minutes to write it down. I'm gonna do, yeah, we'll do 3 minutes, and I'm gonna do I think the podcast one I'm most excited for. So I'm gonna start with my bigger goal, 1 million. And then anything that I put on that, like, of course, it's gonna help me get 100,000. So, okay.